What happens when Hollywood's golden couple turns into the courtroom's coldest rivals? When love songs turn into legal statements and red carpet smiles transform into depositions? Well, buckle up, because Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban just went from soulmates to sworn enemies. And the world is eating it up like it's popcorn night at Netflix. According to leaked court reports, allegedly from someone close to the stenographer's coffee cup, Nicole and Keith's divorce isn't just emotional, it's explosive. We're talking millions in property disputes, secret recordings, and accusations that sound straight out of a Lifetime movie. And the wildest part? Insiders claim Nicole showed up to court in full glam, not to reconcile, but to win. So what really went down between the Oscar queen and the country crooner? How did the couple who preach loyalty and forever love end up fighting over custody, cash, and credibility? And why are tabloids whispering about an off-the-record confession that could ruin one of their careers forever? Stay tuned, because this isn't your average celebrity breakup. This is the Nicole versus Keith courtroom showdown, and baby, it's just getting started. If you thought Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's love story was the kind of Hollywood fairy tale that made you believe in second chances, think again, because what's happening behind those courthouse doors looks more like a Shakespearean tragedy wrapped in Chanel perfume and country twang. It all started allegedly when Nicole filed what insiders are calling the most poetic yet petty divorce petition in Hollywood history. The documents, which of course none of us have seen, but everyone claims to have exclusive access to, reportedly detail 17 years of silence, scandal, and Southern charm gone sour. One anonymous source, probably someone's cousin who once delivered Uber Eats to their Nashville mansion, told reporters, Nicole got tired of playing the calm wife, while Keith kept playing the guitar and the field. Apparently, Keith's tour life was a little too lively. From hotel rumors in Vegas to mysterious duet partners in Los Angeles, whispers have been circulating for months that Nicole wasn't the only one hearing Keith's greatest hits. And let's not forget that 2024 red carpet moment when Nicole smiled through gritted teeth while Keith posed with his industry friends a little too comfortably. Fans on social media didn't miss it. One viral tweet read, Nicole's smile says support, her eyes say subpoena. The internet, of course, went full CSI mode. Fans began comparing body language, past interviews, even astrological charts, because in 2025, everyone's a part-time lawyer and therapist. Threads started with Nicole blinking twice means distress, and ended with Keith's belt buckle, reflected another woman in the mirror. It was chaos, the kind that the tabloids dream of and the PR teams dread. Then came the leak. Or what online sleuths think was a leak. An audio file allegedly recorded during a couple's therapy session made its way to a gossip blog. The voice, which totally sounded like Nicole's, can be heard saying, I'm done pretending we're perfect. You're performing a marriage, Keith, not living one. Ouch. The internet exploded. One fan commented, Nicole Kidman doesn't just act, she delivers emotional monologues even in real life. Another added, Keith better turn this into a song, because that's the only way he's surviving this divorce. But according to a so-called friend of the family, things were falling apart long before the microphones caught it. Allegedly, Nicole was growing increasingly frustrated with Keith's spending, particularly his obsession with vintage cars and designer cowboy boots. One tabloid even claimed Keith spent over $2 million renovating a home studio for inspiration, while Nicole was funding film projects for redemption. In other words, love had left the chat, and ego had logged in. Then the real storm hit, the court summons, early Tuesday morning. Paparazzi swarmed outside the downtown Nashville courthouse as Nicole arrived in an ivory pantsuit that said revenge with restraint. Keith followed minutes later. Sunglasses on, jaw tight, the picture of a man who'd rather be anywhere else. The silence between them was louder than the camera shutters. Inside, things reportedly got tense fast. According to a source familiar with the proceedings, aka the janitor's friend's dog Walker, Nicole's legal team came armed with receipts. We're talking financial reports, private messages, and what insiders claim were timestamped photographs that could turn public opinion on its head. Meanwhile, Keith's lawyers hit back with their own evidence, alleging that Nicole had been secretly recording conversations for months. If true, that would violate their confidentiality agreements. But Nicole's camp dismissed the claim, calling it an absurd distraction from the truth, and the truth, at least according to Hollywood gossip circuits, is that this marriage wasn't just ending. It was imploding. Media pundits started calling it the divorce of the decade. Talk shows went wild. One commentator joked, "Tom Cruise is somewhere sipping espresso watching all this like." Karma has excellent timing, but here's where things really took a cinematic turn. Nicole reportedly requested a public trial. Not a quiet mediation, not a sealed settlement, but a full, open court spectacle. She wants the world to see what she went through. An insider told Starfeed News she's tired of being painted as the stoic ice queen while everyone else plays the victim, and that's when you realize this isn't just a divorce. It's a reputation war. Both stars built empires on image. Nicole, the ethereal Hollywood icon who conquers every role with emotional precision. Keith, the soulful musician whose country charm sells out arenas. But when that image starts cracking, when the golden frame begins to rust, the public doesn't look away. It leans in. By the time the first day of court ended, fans had already hashtagged it #KidmanVSurban, turning what should have been a private heartbreak into a viral event. Comment sections were split between Team Nicole and Team Keith, each dissecting every gesture, every glance, every whisper. One post summed it up perfectly: "This isn't a marriage anymore. It's an awards season campaign for sympathy." And as night fell over Nashville, Nicole's car was spotted leaving the courthouse, headlights cutting through the media frenzy, while Keith reportedly stayed behind, meeting privately with his legal advisors. What were they discussing? Damage control? Settlement offers? Or was there another bombshell waiting to drop the next morning? Whatever it was, one thing was clear. This wasn't over, not by a long shot, because what started as a heartbreak had turned into a high-stakes Hollywood battle, and everyone, from fans to exes to lawyers, wanted a front-row seat. By sunrise the next morning, the Nashville courthouse was once again surrounded, not by fans this time, but by a circus of reporters, drones, and influencers pretending to be journalists. And right in the middle of it all, Nicole Kidman stepped out of a black SUV like she was walking into a movie premiere. But this wasn't Cannes. This was combat. Day 2 of the divorce hearing was where things went from dignified separation to emotional demolition, according to leaked courtroom notes circulating on social media, because apparently nothing stays private in celebrity land. Nicole's team presented what they called Exhibit 14, the truth behind the song. Insiders claim it was a set of Keith's unreleased lyrics, scribbled notes allegedly written during his tour that hinted at a double life. One line reportedly read, "Two hearts, one promise," but only one stayed true. Fans online instantly connected the dots, claiming it was a confession in plain sight. It was a confession in plain sight. Within hours, the hashtag KEITHS lyrics leak trended worldwide. Memes flooded the internet, pictures of Keith performing, overlaid with captions like, "When your song writes you back, Nicole's silent stare in court" became a viral gif. The media called it Oscar-level shade, but that was only the beginning. A supposed friend of Nicole's inner circle told Daily Unverified that Nicole had receipts, literal screenshots of messages exchanged between Keith and an unnamed tour assistant. Those screenshots, according to this very helpful anonymous insider, contained emotional confessions, late-night rendezvous arrangements, and enough heart emojis to fill a Taylor Swift album. Keith's lawyers instantly objected, calling the evidence heavily edited and misleadingly curated. But Nicole's attorney, a woman the press has now nicknamed the Ice Barrister, calmly responded, "We have time-stamped metadata. Let's proceed." The courtroom gasped. And somewhere online, an editor at TMZ probably started drafting 5 headlines at once. As the drama unfolded, Keith sat stone-faced, but witnesses say his fingers were tapping on the table like he was counting beats. Meanwhile, Nicole kept her gaze forward, her posture royal, her expression unreadable. But make no mistake, this was not an actress on camera. This was a woman reclaiming the narrative. By midday, fake insiders were coming out of every shadow. One claimed Keith had tried to offer Nicole a private settlement the night before, a generous one, apparently, but with one condition: silence. Nicole allegedly refused, reportedly saying, "You don't buy silence," after selling songs about honesty that, quote, spread like wildfire. Fans printed it on t-shirts within hours. Then came the twist no one expected. Keith took the stand. His testimony, though mostly calm, sent ripples through the courtroom. According to reports, he described the marriage as a partnership that stopped feeling like home. He admitted that fame had blinded both of them and that the pressure to be perfect turned love into performance. It was raw, emotional, and, some would say, rehearsed. Nicole's response? She reportedly whispered something under her breath, loud enough for the microphones to catch it. "You rehearsed that line better than any song you ever sang." Boom. Instant classic. The judge called for a recess, but the damage was done. Twitter went nuclear. Fans started making edits, split-screen videos of Nicole's Big Little Lies monologues paired with courtroom footage. One user captioned it, "From Monterey to Nashville, the Queen stays unbothered." Meanwhile, entertainment networks began calling this case the performance of their lives. A major morning show host Steven joked, "Hollywood doesn't need screenwriters anymore. Nicole and Keith are giving us the script in real time." But while the headlines were gleefully spinning, both camps were reportedly unraveling behind the scenes. Sources close to Keith claim he was heartbroken and humiliated, insisting that much of what was being painted as betrayal was actually miscommunication. He allegedly told friends, "I was fighting for the marriage long after she gave up." Nicole's camp, on the other hand, fired back with claims that Keith's narrative was a desperate PR spin. They even accused him of using music industry connections to downplay her side of the story in major outlets. "It's not just divorce," one insider said. "It's media warfare," and just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, an anonymous email began circulating among gossip journalists, allegedly from someone inside the courthouse. The email contained a list of sealed exhibits yet to be presented, including rumored voice recordings, financial ledgers, and something labeled the Kidman confession. The internet went into meltdown mode trying to guess what it was. A video? A diary entry? A recording? Speculation ran wild. One TikToker even claimed it was a voicemail Nicole left for her lawyer, admitting she'd planned this reveal for months, whether true or not. One thing was clear: the courtroom had turned into a global stage. Outside the courthouse, fans held signs reading justice for Nicole and Keith, sing the truth. Tabloids camped overnight. Anchors reported live with voices trembling from excitement. And somewhere deep in Hollywood, every other celebrity couple probably canceled their date night. As the second day wrapped up, Nicole exited surrounded by security, cameras flashing like fireworks. She didn't say a word, but she didn't have to. Her silence was louder than any statement. Keith left minutes later, his expression heavy, his team shielding him from reporters shouting, "Is it true about the messages? Did Nicole set you up?" No answers, no clarity, just tension thick enough to cut with a lawsuit. And if the first 2 days were any sign, the next hearing would make history. Because now, it wasn't just about who was right. It was about who the world would believe. By the third day, the courthouse didn't look like a legal institution anymore. It looked like the set of a Netflix docuseries waiting to be filmed. Reporters camped on every corner. Fans were holding up homemade signs that read "Nicole for Justice" and "Team Keith till the last note," and drones hovered over the courthouse like flies over the world's most expensive drama. Inside, the tension was unbearable. Both Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban had now ditched the polite smiles. The gloves were off, metaphorically and emotionally. According to courtroom observers, Nicole's legal team arrived with a new round of evidence that allegedly included financial transfers, voice notes, and private text threads that painted a very different picture of the couple's final year together. One exhibit, labeled Private Journal Excerpt 2023, reportedly contained Nicole's handwritten notes. In one alleged entry, she wrote, "I feel like I'm living next to a stranger who still calls me his muse, but doesn't see me anymore." The courtroom went silent. Even the judge reportedly paused before allowing the page to be read aloud. It was heartbreak turned into testimony, and it hit hard. Keith, visibly shaken, whispered something to his attorney, who immediately stood and objected, claiming the entry was selectively presented and out of emotional context, but the damage was done. Public sympathy started swinging toward Nicole. Online fans called her the real-life Grace Kelly of heartbreak, but then, just as Nicole seemed to gain the upper hand, Keith's lawyers dropped their own bombshell. They presented what they described as a contractual discrepancy, documents that allegedly showed Nicole had made significant financial moves before filing for divorce. According to Keith's team, she transferred millions into a private trust under a film production shell company. Just weeks before announcing the split, gasps filled the room. Was Nicole protecting her money or preparing her exit? Her lawyers immediately denied any wrongdoing, stating that the transfers were part of ongoing business investments unrelated to the divorce. But social media didn't wait for context. Within minutes, the trending tag flipped. #NicoleMoneyMoves began dominating timelines. Talk shows had a field day. One anchor dramatically declared, "It's official, this divorce has more plot twists than a season of Big Little Lies." As the hearing continued, both sides' public images crumbled in real time. Former colleagues began speaking out, some defending Nicole, others subtly hinting that Keith's rockstar habits might have played a bigger role than anyone admitted. A so-called insider from Keith's touring crew told Hollywood Blaze, "Keith's been struggling. He's a good guy, but the fame, the pressure, it changes people. Nicole tried to keep it together, but she wanted control, and he wanted escape." Meanwhile, another anonymous source, allegedly from Nicole's film set, told the press she was checked out months before she filed. The moment he missed her premiere, something broke in her. So, who's the real villain here? That's the million-dollar question. Literally, because while fans debated morality, both legal teams were busy calculating assets, royalties, and future earnings. We're talking 3 properties, 2 production companies, and nearly $150 million in combined wealth. And with no prenup updates since 2015, this wasn't just emotional warfare, it was financial combat. But perhaps the most shocking moment came near the end of the day, when Nicole herself took the stand for the first time. Calm, poised, and perfectly framed under the courtroom lights, she reportedly spoke for over 20 minutes about marriage, fame, and feeling invisible in her own home. "People think fame protects you," she said softly. "But sometimes it's just a prettier cage. You perform love, you post it, you smile for cameras, and then you go home to silence." It wasn't a breakdown. It wasn't an act. It was an emotional earthquake. Even Keith, who had been avoiding eye contact all day, finally looked up. Witnesses say their eyes met for a brief second. It wasn't love. It wasn't hate. It was history. The courtroom fell into a rare, reverent silence. But this is Hollywood. Silence never lasts long. As soon as the court adjourned, headlines exploded. Nicole speaks. Keith crumbles. One entertainment blog posted side-by-side photos of the couple, captioned "The End of the Urban Era." Another claimed that a major streaming network was already developing a docuseries tentatively titled Kidman vs. Urban, Love on Trial, Back Outside. Fans were crying, cheering, debating as if they were watching a live finale of their favorite show. News vans rolled out breaking banners every 5 minutes. The whole world was hooked, and just when it seemed like the date was finally done, Nicole walked down the courthouse steps and, for the first time, spoke to the press. Her voice was calm. Almost too calm. "This isn't about revenge," she said. "It's about truth." Then she got into her car, closed the door, and drove off without another word. Keith followed moments later, head down, his team shielding him as fans yelled questions about the leaked songs. The alleged messages and the mysterious journal entries, neither answered. Neither needed to, because after 3 days of courtroom chaos, emotional confessions, and viral leaks, the world had already made up its mind. Some saw Nicole as the woman who finally stood her ground. Others saw Keith as the artist who lost himself trying to keep up with Hollywood perfection. But everyone agreed on one thing. This was the divorce that redefined celebrity breakups forever. And as cameras flashed, capturing the final image of Nicole driving off into the Nashville sunset while Keith lingered behind in silence, one thought echoed across every timeline, every news feed, every gossip thread: if love like theirs can end in court, what hope does anyone else have? So, what do you think really went down behind those courtroom doors? Was Nicole Kidman the woman reclaiming her power, or the actress performing her final role? Was Keith Urban the heartbroken husband, or the man finally caught in his own melody? One thing's for sure, Hollywood love stories never end quietly. The truth always finds a spotlight. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on in this explosive showdown? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lumi Legacy, where the drama never sleeps, and the secrets are always one leak away.